Golden Knights having great success so far this year. Does that put any pressure on you guys to succeed in this
Who are the
year?
Golden Knights? No, only pressure is that the sniping of people saying you got to do as good as them.
It's just good. Vegas is treating us well, and I think the record doesn't show how hard that we work, and it's tough in that way, but it's good for us in the inner circle to understand what we have going on in Vegas, and if we just continue to trust and believe in each other, the sky's the limit for this team, and I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Our expectations maybe at the start of the season were a little unrealistic.
Man, we're not even worrying about the playoffs right now. What we do is we take it week by week. We gotta worry about next week. You start looking ahead and you start looking over people, you might not even make it. So
that being said, to me, Urban Meyer is one of the lowest pieces of garbage there is on this earth.
What's going on, everybody? We are back at it once again. Straight Bet Sports with me, your host, Jose V. It's been a minute since I've done this. It's been a few weeks, few months. I know a lot of you have been hearing me here locally on the Las Vegas radio waves, doing my thing on the TC Martin Show, filling in for TC when he's been on the road during the regular season. And, of course, Monday nights, always filling in for my guy, Ken Thompson, over at Sports X Radio on KDON here locally in Las Vegas. But it's been a while, and I thought about it. I needed to get back in front of the mic. I needed to get back in front of the camera, right? And just start talking to you guys again, because this is what I do and this is what I love to do. I hate sitting at home and just sitting here and talking to myself and looking at games and just chittering and chattering back and forth and not having anyone to talk to. So I had to bring the show back. I had to get it back going. We have a lot of things in the works, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the first and last time that you will see me on here. We're going to be doing it moving forward every single Wednesday night. Next week, we already got a great guest that's going to be on the show, which we're going to mention here shortly. But for tonight, we have an amazing guest. I needed to talk to this individual and bring him on the airwaves here with me tonight, because a lot has happened in the last couple months here in Las Vegas, but a lot has also happened for this individual in his lifetime, not only covering this amazing Las Vegas Aces team, but everything else that he has going on in the world of sports and in his own personal life. So with that being said, let me go ahead and bring in my guest for tonight, the one another, the Hall of Famer. Let me get that correct. The Hall of Famer. He is none other than the voice of the Las Vegas Aces and, of course, the host of the TC Martin Show, my guy, TC Martin. TC, welcome to the show. It's been a minute since I've had you on. I just saw you a few days ago, so I'm not going to act like I haven't seen you in a while, because literally just hung out with you on Sunday morning. But how's it going out there this evening? How are you doing, my brother?
All good, Jose V. Great being with you, my friend. Always appreciate reaching out to you when I can, and calling you in, signaling the right-hander. You're right-handed, right? I signal the right-hander out of the bullpen.
Yes, sir.
Come on in, fill in for me when I'm on the road. I really appreciate you, man. So great stuff. I'm glad that you're back doing this thing with Straight Bet Sports, and again, keep it going, brother. Keep it going, because people love tuning into you.
Hey, our guy Chris Wynn already chiming in. He says, wow, Jose V comes on right when the Rangers win their first World Series. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that correct. TC just mentioned it. Brings in the right-hander. I'm the guy that comes out the bullpen. The bullpen did their job. The pitching staff did their job tonight for the Rangers. TC, real quick, before we get into some other conversation, it just ended. We just said it. The Rangers just won their very first World Series in their franchise's history. They took out a team in the Houston Astros, which was managed by a very good friend of yours, Dusty Baker. What are your thoughts right now, real quick, on this World Series and just how it's ended with the Rangers finally getting their first ring?
It was pretty much one of the most lackluster World Series we've seen, even though, Texas, congratulate them. They won in 5 games and they, put up the runs on the board, especially in that game number 4, where they scored 10 runs with 2 outs. So props to them. But remember, this is a team just like the Arizona Diamondbacks, and nobody expected to be here, and rightfully so. I mean, you had a 65-1 shot in the D-backs, a 22-1 shot in the Rangers. And again, the Rangers, both these teams backed their way in to the postseason. It looked like neither one would probably make it in that final weekend, but they did. And remember, this is a team, both these teams lost over 100 games just 2 seasons ago. Last year, the Rangers lost 94 games and finished 38 games behind the Astros in the AL West. But, they had some things going for them this year. And, Seager coming over from the Dodgers helped him. Marcus Semien, obviously, helped them as well, too. They made some big trade deadline moves. So, kudos to the Rangers. But again, it feels a little bit strange when you're talking about a World Series with the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I'm sure the news will come out here in the next couple of days. It'll be the lowest World Series ratings we've ever seen. We've already heard some of those preliminary ratings already. It was just like, are you kidding me? It's crazy. But the general public, just did not really gravitate to this World Series. But hey, Rangers got the job done with the bats. So kudos to them.
And I agree with you. We're going to bust out the conspiracy theories and whatnot. When it comes to viewership and it comes to money, this was possibly the worst World Series matchup that MLB could have envisioned happening because, with all due respect, the only people watching these games are the fans of these teams. And the fans of these teams aren't that national, that big overall. You know what I mean? It's not like the Yankees are playing in it or the Astros, how they have been in the last 10 years, so hot, so many World Series that they've been in with controversy or not. They're not that household name that anyone will watch. So I totally agree with you. I can't wait to see what the ratings are and what the numbers end up being when it's all said and done. But one thing that you also mentioned is Seager staying hot in these playoffs. What about Garcia, Adolis Garcia going out, talking about next man up? Who's going to step up? Some people, myself included, were going, okay, are we going to see a 7-game series now with this guy going out? I kind of ate my words, kind of like what I said with the Aces. I thought, man, they might be done when Chelsea Gray went out. Did you think by any imagination here that the Rangers might be in some trouble once the news was announced that Adolis was out?
I thought that the Diamondbacks would give a better showing and at least win 1 game, maybe possibly, 2 games at home during the stretch when they was hosting games 3, 4, and 5 because of the Garcia situation. But if you just look at the way the Rangers have been playing, especially on the road, I mean, they're going to be the first team in history that, went undefeated on the road in the postseason, which they did. So, 11 victories there with that. So amazing job by them. But again, looking at the opponent, and, I really thought Philadelphia would get there. I thought we'd have a rematch of last year with Houston and Philadelphia. I think a lot of people thought that. And then when the Rangers got, the Astros and won in 7 games, winning game 6 and 7 in Houston, I just kind of thought, hey, the Rangers are going to, defeat the Arizona Diamondbacks. I just thought it was an advantageous matchup, for the Rangers. And again, not thinking much of an 84-win Diamondback team. So, they got 1 game in there. They had a big 9-1 victory. But after that, they couldn't show up on their home field there at Chase Field. But, give the Rangers credit. The bats were alive, and they won on the road. A team that can win on the road like that, give them props.
9-0 on the road this postseason for the Rangers. Did not lose a game. Unbelievable. Craziest thing about it, too, tonight, TC, Zach Gallen had a no-hitter, I believe, going into the 6th inning, something like that.
He went
7th inning.
He went 6 no-hit in the 7th. He gave up a little bleeder to Seager, went the opposite way where the third baseman, was playing more for the shift. So there you go, more for the pull, and that started the rally. And next thing you know, then it all kind of caved in.
It's crazy. You ask the guy to give you a great game and he gives you one, but then it just goes south on one play. That's definitely the way it is. But congratulations to the Texas Rangers winning their first World Series, actually 11-0 record on the road this postseason. Let me get that correct there. Unbelievable stuff there. I'm pretty sure that everyone in Texas is happy. But moving on from that, TC, we're done with baseball. It's finally out of the window. It's over with. The final baseball question I have for you before we move into some Aces talk. Your guy, he retired. He called it quits, not quits in a bad way, but hey, he hung him up, had a great career. Have you had a conversation with Dusty yet? And if so, what has that conversation been, and why did he choose to retire?
Wasn't a conversation. It wasn't a decision to retire completely. So he's not done with baseball. And I think I posted that out, a few days ago when he announced it. He's done managing for the Houston Astros. Okay, and more than likely done managing. Period. But he does have some interest of staying in the game and possibly getting a front office job. I know there's some conversations that are happening as we speak, regarding that, and we'll know more, probably in the next, few weeks. But right now, my guy wants some downtime, and I appreciate that. And I know that there's a big time for him every November, December, January. This is his coveted time because he loves spending time with the family. I'm going to get a chance to see him in a couple of weeks when I go back to Sacramento. And I really enjoy that time. I see him a lot during the course of the season. I'm going to miss going to the ballpark. And watching him manage. And again, I've been fortunate enough to go to the last 2 World Series in Houston, because of him, to support him. So he's not done completely. He's still got plenty to give. But I will say this, I was very happy for him that he got a chance to go out on his own terms, where for the first time in his career as a manager, he got a chance to say, I'm done. Again, the Astros, they parted ways amicably, mutually. But if they would have came to him and said, hey, do you want to run it back one more year and extended his contract, I think that he might have taken it, again. But there were some things during the course of this season where he just kind of said, maybe it's time for me to just, step away from this team and everything. He loved his time there. Jim Crane treated him great, the Houston Astros owner. And but again, you got to remember his contract expired, was done, and they didn't re-up him and re-sign him. So he's been through this a lot with a lot of one-year contracts going back to Washington and then also with Houston. But he enjoyed his time in Houston. I enjoyed my time there, going back there as much as I could. So, but you'll hear about Dusty. He's going to spend some time watching his son Darren, who's in the Nationals farm system, and maybe Darren gets called up next year, but he wants to spend some time and follow his son and go watch him play, and then get a job with the team that'll let him have a little flexibility. He had that with the Giants before he came over to Houston, but that situation just wasn't the perfect situation for him. So his name will be called, and again, we'll all be joining him in the Hall of Fame induction ceremony in about 3 years. So that'll be great.
Once again, Jose Volonte, you are tuning to Straight Bet Sports. We are live right now on our YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook page. Just look up Straight Bet Sports. You'll find us there. I'm actually live on my Facebook page, my personal page, Jose_Volonte. We are proudly brought to you by my personal barber. He hooked me up today. I'm already cleaned up because I'm going to California this weekend. But my personal barber, Eric Navarro of Line Him Up by Eric. You guys see the number there. Hit him up. Let him know Jose V sent you. He'll definitely take care of you.
Eric, can you do something with this?
I know. What can we do
out, Eric? Come on,
Eric. TC, I swear, I was thinking about the same thing earlier. I'm like, how can I break this in and add TC to the conversation of the haircut? But not only that, man, make sure you guys check out everything that we got going on theoutletsv.com. Your gambling needs, your sports betting needs, everything that has to do with anything sports, it's on there. I'm going to have a lot more great content going on there. We're going to be going live on there pretty soon as well. The website is growing. We're doing a lot more things. You know me, TC. I never stop. I got hats everywhere, man. I'm trying to stay busy doing my stuff all the time. But another person that stayed busy was you, my guy. You stayed busy all regular season long with this WNBA. The WNBA right now has grown to heights that we haven't seen since this league started, right? This past season, ratings, viewership were through the roof. Not only that, the WNBA finals had records of people that were watching, and rightfully so. When you have a team like the Las Vegas Aces, which some say super team, but the people that know that have been covering this team since day one know this team was built and created the right way. And then you do have a super team in the New York Liberty that were in the WNBA finals with 2 former MVPs on that team with Jonquel Jones and Breanna Stewart. And, of course, the firepower with everyone else that's on that team. How would the ratings not be through the roof, right? But you stayed busy all season. You traveled with the team. You know this team. You are very, very close to everyone there. every single player, whether it's coach, whether it's Jiggy, our guy, the media guy that takes care of everyone, which in my opinion, the best media relations director out there in all of sports. I got to give it to him hands down. But talk a little bit about your grind this season, TC, because a lot of people can listen to you on the radio. And it's easy for us to hop in the car, grab a phone, hop on the computer, and listen to you and enjoy you. But no one knows what goes behind that, the travel, the preparation, knowing what you're going to say and how you're going to say it while the game is going. Give us a little bit of insight on what it is to be an everyday play-by-play announcer that has to travel with the team and also be prepared on a day-to-day basis.
Well, first of all, it's a blessing, and as you know, I've been with the Aces since the inception when they came to Las Vegas in 2018, and it's been great to see the organization grow. I mean, when I first started, I think I was employee number 4 or whatever it was. You had Bill Lambert was the president, Jiggy was number 2 or number 3, and then they reached out to me and they wanted me to be their play-by-play guy, and I was honored with that, and I took it very, very seriously. And again, I think, working with the team and being a play-by-play person, you have to, be all in. Okay. If you're going to do that job, you got to be all in. As far as WNBA go, there was a lot of people out there that didn't know much about the league. Fortunately, I remember the league when it first came into play in 1997 because I was in Sacramento at the time, and the Sacramento Kings ownership purchased the Monarchs. And back in those days, most every NBA team, had their WNBA team played in the same building, that sort of thing. Still applies to about 4 teams in the WNBA right now. So I was fortunate enough to be able to know a lot about the league, follow college basketball from the men's side and the women's side. So it was great. And then, getting to know, Asia Wilson from day one, the day she was drafted, she came on the show. Same thing with Bill Lambier when he got the job there. So we built this relationship, early on. And then, when Jackie Young was the number 1 pick, right after that, Kelsey Plum was the number 1 pick, the last year in San Antonio. So just getting a chance to know these women and to see, how special that they are, and not just, on the court, but just to see how special they are, the way they conduct their business, as well as I do. I mean, Asia Wilson is just one of the best. She never turns down an interview, as popular as she is, as diversified as she is. She's pulled in so many different directions. And now to see how this organization has grown since Mark Davis took it over, it's a blessing. And again, it's a lot of work. You're right. Each one of my broadcasts takes about anywhere between 3 and 4 hours of prep, just to prepare. And again, you have to know the team, you got to know the opponent, you got to know the league, you got to know the situation. And, I've been fortunate enough to know the commissioner, Kathy Engelbrett, and get to know her, get to know everybody involved, from the referees to people, the different buildings, the ESPN crew that come on with me a lot, from Holly Rowe to Carolyn Peck and Ryan Rucco. The list kind of goes on and on with everybody that is involved with that. So yeah, just I feel blessed. Love this team, love this organization. They have treated me and welcomed me with open arms from day number 1, and it's great to see the way the whole league is developed. Like you said, they've never been, the league has never been at a better point than it is right now. But a lot of it has to do with this organization. And since Mark Davis took it over, now going on year number 3, what he's done, what he's brought, and how he's treated this organization like he has, with the Raiders. So the organization has grown. The crowd is electric. The fan base is insane, with now close to 10,000 season ticket holders. So it's a fantastic league to be part of, fantastic team to be part of.
So the roster, TC, Jackie 2025, Kelsey 2025, Asia 26, Chelsea 25, Alicia Clark 25. These are all locked up for the next 2 years at least, guaranteed. What is to say that this team cannot get a three-peat? What is to say that we cannot see history be made once again with this team? Now, again, I was a doubter at the end when Chelsea went down. You saw my tweets. You saw my text message. You didn't even respond to my text. And I could tell. TC, you were probably like, you know what? I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to wait till it's over, and then I'm going to talk to Jose. That's probably what you were thinking. I'm probably crazy.
I was thinking that Jose's texting me in the middle of the game. No offense, brother, but I'll get back to you later when I'm whining and dining afterwards.
See, that's the thing. I sometimes I forget, like, yeah, TC's my guy, but oh my God, he's also the play-by-play. He's there right now. I gotta forget. You're not just at home like me watching the game sometimes when you're on the road. So I gotta forget about that. But this team is built. I mean, this team is built, and not only that, TC, this team is built to prove people wrong, right? If you saw the Up and Smoke podcast where Kelsey was on recently, when Kelsey Plum was on, they talked to her about super team and the narrative. She clearly stated, not in these exact words, but we're not a super team. We were built, and you said it. First round draft picks, number 1 overall draft picks, starting from the bottom, getting everyone together. Granted, you bring in Chelsea Gray, an ex-champion, that little glue that you needed to stick everyone together. But at the end of the day, this team was organically built from the ground up. This team is not going anywhere anytime soon. How can anyone believe that this team can't win a three-peat? Is this something that you believe that this team is already thinking and it can possibly happen this next season?
No question. What I love about this team is they won't shy away from that. And you go back to last year when I'm doing a show from the facility last year when training camp was just getting ready to start. And when I brought Becky Hammond, Natalie Williams, and Asia Wilson on the show, and I said, okay, are you guys you're okay with saying back to back that we start off the show and we're going to start off this season as back to back? And every one of them said absolutely. And you that's usually not the narrative with a lot of teams. They want to stay away from that. Oh, well, we don't want to say that. We want to put a target on ourselves, but they've had a target on themselves day they moved to Las Vegas. And so after the season ended that night, we were already talking three-peat. I was dropping three-peat the night of the celebration in the Barclays Center, and then we were talking about it at the parade as well too. And you should do that because that's the confidence that you want in a team, and it starts at the top with Mark Davis. Even though Mark's a little superstitious, Mark doesn't like to have all that kind of talk. He kind of let's just see. But Becky has no problem putting it out there. No problem putting it out there, and the players respond to that. But the core that you have, the core 4, as I like to say, with Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and let's throw in Kia Stokes because she's now been here, for 3+ years. That group, they embrace the challenge here, and they will not back down from anybody. When Chelsea Gray got here, going back, 3 years ago, it was like, oh no, this is the missing piece. She was that glue, like you talked about, because you need to have that point guard. And again, she already won a title, with LA. Now she's got 3 titles. You bring in Alicia Clark, always been one of my favorite players when she played at Seattle, where she won 2 championships with Brianna Stewart and Sue Bird. And then she went over to Washington, and she was a great player. And when the moment that they got her, it was like, wow, look out. This is going to solidify the bench, and she can do everything. But more importantly, another veteran presence. So over the years, you've seen Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young, grow. Asia Wilson not only is the face of this franchise, but she's now the face of the league, of the WNBA, and she embraces that. So you should say three-peat. You should expect three-peat, and they will be the overwhelming favorite, next year as well. They don't have a whole bunch of draft picks, so you're going to have, this core in place. But you got to remember, there's a lot of free agents out there that want to come and play with the Aces. And if you talk to some of the Aces privately, semi-privately, they're going like, we're pretty good right now. We're fine with this core. Every year there's going to be changes. That's the nature of the business. That's the way it is. But, they were able to get Candace Parker last year. Unfortunately, she got hurt. But there will probably be 1 or 2 free agents that they will look out in the offseason to fill some holes. But the core is coming back. We should fully expect this team to, I'm not going to say that they're going to roll because you never know what happens with injuries. You never know. I mean, no one fully expected Candace Parker to come down with that foot injury. And we saw, Kelsey Plum get, injured early on. Asia Wilson was playing with a bad thumb during the course, the tail end of the season. So, knock on wood, as long as they stay healthy, they're the favorites.
So this team, TC, started with high hopes, but a lot of bad news and a lot of baggage behind it in the beginning of this season, right? Obviously with the whole Derek Hamby situation and all that, which I'm not going to get into all that all the way through, but there was a lot of good and a lot of bad when the season started. And then throughout the season, we got the injuries. You bring in Candace, like you said, big name, but yet wasn't necessarily living up to what a lot of fans thought she was going to be. But people like you and I understood what she was bringing to the table and what she was going to be while she was here. But then you have that injury. You have all the talk about the bench and how good is it? What can they bring? Who's going to step up? Who's going to do what, right? Injuries when it matters. Kelsey Plum, broken finger, I believe, playing like Kobe Bryant throughout this WNBA finals as well, right? Trying to prove and show how good she really is and can be. When it was all said and done and the Aces were crowned champs, I texted you and I asked you, give me a quote. What can we say? What do you feel? How do you feel about it? You said, this was a team of destiny. They fought through so much adversity, negativity, and costly injuries, and they put it all aside to conquer the common goal. An amazing season by an amazing group of women, back to back, well deserved. If I had to put that all together, I would agree with you 1,000% because this team had everything on their back, on their shoulders before the ball was even tipped. And that's why I brought up the De'Arica Hamby situation. And that's why I wanted to bring up this quote because you hit the nail on the coffin. I don't think I've ever seen another team go through so much in a season before a game was even played and then so much during the season. Chatter, conversation, media people, this and that. The Asia not getting the MVP when it's well deserved. You hit it on the coffin right there, my guy. The way you said it and what you said, you didn't even hesitate. Was there anything that was told to you by the players that you didn't say, that you didn't want to say, but now you might want to say leading up into this game after Chelsea got hurt? Was there anything in particular that you heard from one player or was told from a specific group of on that team that you were like, okay, they're ready. They're ready tomorrow night. There's no way they're losing this game.
There was a lot of doubt from people outside of the organization, but there was no doubt from the players. And the day before game number 4, Becky Hammond was as confident as can be. And she had told me that I'm as confident as blank. And then when I interviewed her for the plea,
it's all right. We're not censored. You're good.
Yeah, that's true. Right. It's true. And then when I interviewed her for the pregame show prior to game number 4, she was oozing confidence. And the conversations that we would have about what this team was going to do defensively. Mm-hmm. And then I started buying into it because I said, man, this is going to be tough, especially in that building. The Aces hadn't won a game at the Barclays Center, and they were pretty much non-competitive in those 2 regular season games and then in game number 3. So, yeah, even myself had some doubt. But after talking to Becky and being at practice and seeing how confident they were, it went right out the door. And I went into that broadcast with a whole different perspective. Like, this could happen tonight. Okay. As long as they stay out of foul trouble, they stay in the game early on, then they're going to be okay. And then as the game progressed, they were right there. They fell behind 12 points. And then it was like, okay, where's the run? If they can come up with a run, they got a shot. After halftime, Becky did her thing. We've seen so many explosive third quarters with the Aces during her 2 years here, home games, away games. And, I remember overcoming the 13-point deficit in Chicago during the regular season. Boom, explosion. We've seen it at the Michelob Ultra Arena in Mandalay Bay. Explosion, second half, when she's had some subpar performances by the team in the first half. And that's what happened in game number 4. And then once they took that lead and they got up 6, I said, we got a great opportunity to be celebrating tonight. So because of the faith that Becky Hammond had, the game plan that she put together, especially defensively, this team learned a new defense, a defense that they had not worked on at all the night before at the hotel. That was Becky Hammond saying, I've got something up my sleeve here. I need you guys to buy into this. And the players are going like, what the heck is this? We've never done this before, but they all bought in. And basically it was not letting, Brianna Stewart or John Quell Jones beat you. They're going to be double teamed at all point in times. and Courtney Vandersloot was going to be kind of, not, I don't say left on an island, but she was going to be one-on-one and no double team with her. But it was kind of a combination of kind of a matchup zone and a man-to-man. And Becky said, we're going to junk it up tonight. And she even told Sandy Brondello in the hallway before the game, we're going to junk it up at you tonight. and that's the confidence she had that we were going to pull this off. And they did pull it off.
TC Martin, the voice of the back-to-back WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces, joining me here on Straight Bet Sports. I am your host, Jose V. We are coming to you live from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a little bit past 8:30 now. I know I told TC a half an hour, but we got one more thing we got to talk about, TC, you and I. A lot has happened in the last 24 hours. Late last night, I was driving around doing some things, and I hear our guy Q Myers on the radio, and he says, breaking news, I just got it. Looks like the Raiders have finally fired Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. Now, the Dave Ziegler one kind of shocked me a little bit, and here's why. I had a good conversation with our guy, J.C. Merrick, over at NBC News 3 here in Las Vegas, and we were talking the other day about the possibilities of Josh McDaniels maybe being gone, but at the end of the season, right? Because I'm also not a huge fan of firing or letting anyone go during the season. If you're going to fire him, cool, but let him finish it out. If you lost the locker room, I understand that. It gets harsh, but you got to find a way to let them finish it out. Now, Dave Ziegler did bring in some pretty decent, draft picks, made some moves during the offseasons, things of that nature. So that's why I didn't necessarily see him going. Josh, I get it. Mark Davis waits right before the trade deadline, makes it his own personal trade deadline, and then what happens? Pretty sure a conversation might have happened. This is just me saying, with Devontae Adams, and it was something like, hey, we're not going to move you, but we know you're not happy, so what do you want us to do? Again, that's just me speculating, not knowing anything from the organization. But then moving forward, they're both gone now. Antonio Pierce, linebackers coach, is now the intern head coach, which that one's a bit interesting, but everything I've read and everything I've heard, the guy is a great football mind, knows football, knows how to get a team together. So we'll see. We'll see what he can do for the remainder of this season. We saw what Rich Bisaccia did, right, at the end of the season a couple of years ago after everything happened when they got rid of John Gruden. He found a way to get everyone together and pull it together and make it to the playoffs and make some type of noise without turmoil. My thing about Josh McDaniels, I don't think he should have ever been a head coach to begin with. He was good where he was in New England. He fits that system, as most guys do, and they don't do that great when they leave these systems. And now he's gone once again. The fact that you also did not want to give a chance to a guy in Aiden O'Connell, which showed you everything in the preseason. I get it. It's just the preseason. It's not the regular season, but he showed you a lot more than anybody else on that roster when it comes to the quarterback position. But yet you want to stick to your guy. You want to stick to a journeyman in Brian Hoyer, which you think is actually going to give you some type of help in winning a game. I'm not saying listen to the fans, TC. I'm not saying listen to the signs. But I think the fact that he did not listen to the fans this time, did not listen to the signs, and try to go away from his New England roots, I think that's what hurt him the most. Call me crazy. I think you start Aiden O'Connell. You try to switch it up and see what the offense can do. You try to use Hunter Renfrow, which you have not used. You and I had this conversation on Sunday as well about how he's just been non-existent, but it's not necessarily his fault. It's more on the coaching staff. He hurt himself big time. He was too stuck in his New England ways, and now he's gone. What are your overall thoughts on what you heard and what you saw with what happened in the last 24 hours with the Raiders? And not only that, what does Mark Davis do moving forward? You see it here on the screen. Even Chris Wynn pulls it up. Mark has 2 back-to-back championships with the Aces. 2 different leagues. It's not saying you can win in one, you can win in the other. But Mark Davis, I would say now as an owner, if an owner can ever be on a hot seat, he's on the hottest seat there's ever been for an owner.
I love what Mark did here. I was like you, people would ask me all the time, do you make that change during the course of the season? I go, no, because I had the conversation with Mark going back in the offseason. He goes, no, I got to let this guy, play it out, see how it goes, see how the draft picks go. Same thing with Dave Ziegler and that sort of thing. And so my response was, there's not going to be a move during the during the course of this season unless they go on an elongated losing streak or Josh McDaniels has lost the locker room. And that's what happened. This decision was made basically over the last 10 days when they had that horrendous loss to the Bears. And then they came back on Monday night and lost to the Lions. Mark Davis wasn't happy with any of the results, wasn't happy with the victory that they had against the Green Bay Packers at Allegiant Stadium, wasn't happy with the loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers prior to that. I mean, the Raiders had a schedule that was very beneficial to them, and they're 3-5 after 8 games. The schedule will now start to get tougher after this week, okay, when they face the Jets. But, the Giants, they should be okay. Jets, but then you've got Miami, and you've got Kansas City, and then you've got Minnesota, and then you got the Chargers. That's the next 5 weeks. But I was very happy that Mark made the move, because you know what he did? It wasn't just about Josh McDaniels. It was about saying, we're done with the Patriot way, because what has transpired, and you had to get rid of Dave Ziegler too, because they came as a package. So that's why that's gone. Then you get the news that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to the bench. All right. New England Patriots. The offensive coordinator, all right, gone. Part of the New England Patriots. So your head coach, your GM, your offensive coordinator, all, and then your starting quarterback, you spent a lot of money to bring here, and the backup, Brian Hoyer, okay, all Patriot way guys. You need to disassociate yourself with that idea. So that did not work. Patriots West did not work. Not here in Las Vegas. And that's it. So that's what I really got out of the move by Mark. Mark says, we're cleaning house. We're getting rid of all the Patriot stuff. And now we're going to build. And what I like about this is it now gives them time during the course of the rest of this season to calmly, coolly talk to his inner circle, because he's got some very, trusted people who have played in this league, who advises him, and he's going to be taking all this information and this is what he does. He does it with the Raiders. He does it with the Aces. And then he wants to hire the right people and then get out of the way. That's what he done with the Aces. That's his famous quote. Hire Nikki Vargas, Natalie Williams, Becky Hammond. I get out of the way. So he didn't have the right people in the positions with the Raiders. The John Gruden thing set him back many years. Okay. They were probably on the right path with that, even though there were some pieces that still didn't fit. So the Raiders need an identity. They don't have an identity. Their identity right now is they're a mess and they're a penalty-filled team. Okay, that's the identity of the Raiders. But, the passion that everybody speaks about, that's great and everything. But you need to get an experienced head coach in here who is coached in the league. Forget the experiments of offensive coordinators. Defensive coordinators have zero head coaching experience. Didn't like it then, don't like it now. And I think Mark is, hopefully that's the direction he's going to go here and say, give me a proven head coach that has done this before, because that's how you're going to turn this around. That's how you're going to get free agents to come here. That's, you pick and choose the guys that you want to build around. All right. And then get that culture in here. But it's at ground zero right now. It needs to start with that. And again, it's a move that needed to happen, and just get rid of the Patriot way, which he's done.
Real quick question for you. Do you go the college route, or do you stick to the NFL assistant type route? Because we see what McDaniels
None of the above,
Jose.
None of the above.
So what do you go
Don't
with?
go the college route. Do not forget, I just said, with the hot
the reason
OC,
I say
the
that,
hot DC, you don't do it, because
the reason I say the
not a
college route is
proven winner.
because the whole John Harbaugh name. That's why I'm against it. I'm just asking you because that name is floating out there, especially now with all the stuff going on in Michigan. People are saying, well, he's got that back door where he can leave now. I'm
Jim
not for the
Harbaugh-
college game.
Okay, Jim Harbaugh will get a look from the Raiders as well as the Bears, as well as Washington, because he had that positive history for the most part with the 49ers. But, I said this on my show today. I'm not sold on Jim Harbaugh now, because he's older now. His demeanor is a little bit different than it was. Doesn't seem as hungry now. And I'm just not sure that he would fit in with this play, the way the players are today in 2023 and moving forward in the NFL. All right. He's got great experience. He's got a great system, but how is he going to get along with the modern age player? So that's, but to that point, he's got experience, not so much just in college, but he's got NFL experience. You latch on to a coach, whether it's current or in the past, and there are a couple guys out there that would love the opportunity to be interviewed at least and talk with Mark Davis about this position, but you don't go the college route. That hasn't worked. And then the OC DC thing, that usually doesn't work. for the most part. At this point, with this team, you need a leader of men. You need a football guy who knows how to coach men, be a leader of men, but also can be a great X and O's guy as well too. Okay. Josh McDaniel, we heard he was a great X and O guy, but he couldn't relate to anybody on the field or in the locker room. That was proven in Denver. It was proven out again here in Las Vegas. So get away from that and forget about young guys. You want to save money, get yourself a proven coach.
Give me a name. I know it's early. We still have the rest of the regular season.
I'll put myself
Give me
out
a
there.
name.
I'll give you a name. I'll give you a name that would make a lot of sense. He would be hungry. He brings passion. He brings experience. And he brings success. That's Herm Edwards. A guy like Herm Edwards. You need a guy like that who still has that fire burning. He has a very high football IQ. You know, that's the type of guy that you need.
So I know it won't be Herm.
Has NFL experience. Not saying specifically, but I'm telling you.
I get it. Someone like him.
You're laughing, but if you've spent any time talking to Herm Edwards, you'd say this he has to be in the right situation with the right team, but he will surround himself with high quality assistants. That's a name that the Raiders should look into.
No, and the reason I was laughing, not because I love Herm Edwards, ex Jet coach. I've always loved Herm no matter what. The reason I was laughing is because this morning as well, they were talking. He was on the radio. They were mentioning everything that was going on. And he even said, this is why I'm happy I'm no longer out there. I like being in the booth with you guys, doing my thing on the radio. He doesn't want to be a head coach anymore. So I don't even think if the perfect situation was out there, he would jump at it. But I see where you're coming from. Someone like him, that's a great football mind that knows where they're at, that just needs that good, kind of like Dusty when he went to the Astros. Great baseball mind, just needed the right situation to finally get that ring.
And he's hungry and he wanted the opportunity. Exactly. And so, Herm may be saying that to some people. I've heard, another side of that. Again, he's coming off a situation at Arizona State with a college. I mean, that's the only reason he went to Arizona State, because he still had that fire burn inside him. And he wanted to be a head coach, and he figured, I'll take this program that's been struggling for years and let me give it a shot. But if he had the opportunity for a quality NFL job where he had the support and he had a chance to build it his way, and again, the guy's highly connected. And again, I'm not saying it has to be him, but somebody that has that NFL head coaching experience, who's had success at the NFL level. That's what this team needs right now. This team does not need another experiment. That's what I'm trying to say.
And just so you know, TC, I got a little news flash for you. Eric just texted me. He said, let him know he can do whatever you need with the hair, man. He'll hook you up. He'll find something to do over there for you.
That's my guy. There you go. Might throw some colors in there too.
I know. I got to give you a little lineup, figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could do that for you.
I wish Eric could bring back the old TC mullet back in the day. You saw some old shots, baby. Bring it back.
I sure did.
Where was I in the 90s? Let's go.
The old wrestling TC, the old wrestling guy. Remember that? I've seen those pics with the suits. Okay. Definitely. Hey, my guy TC, man, it's been a pleasure as always. I greatly appreciate you jumping on here with me again, last minute notice for me to get this show started back up again. I'm going to be doing this every week. I know I'll be able to have you on here a lot more and conversate with a lot more things going on in the world of sports, but I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your night. But before I do, plug away, my brother. Let everyone know where they can find you and everything you have going on in the world of sports.
All right, Monday through Friday, TC Martin Show here in Las Vegas, 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific, streamed live at tcmartinshow.com. Check out everything there. If you don't hear the show live, you can go on the podcast section. Got great interviews, great guests every day. As you know, the blogs are up there, classic interview page, current interview page, and the show page is all up there. So go check it out and enjoy the show. Follow me on Twitter. Hit me anytime, TC Martin 21 there. But yes, and you can hear my man Jose, maybe not as often nowadays as he did during the summer, but that's okay. I never got a vacation, brother. I may be taking some time off. I'm gonna call you in. We'll go to the right hander again.
Hey, bring me in, baby. I'm ready. You already know what it is. I greatly appreciate you, TC. And I know I had you do your final plug, but it just came to me, and we're gonna end on this note. Real quick, give me your thoughts. Was Francis Ngannou robbed this past weekend? And is it finally showing you that some MMA guys can actually box?
I don't know if he was robbed or not. I mean, as we know in this sport, if that's a boxing match and the champ Tyson Fury is going to get the benefit of the doubt, I think Ngannou gave himself a good representation. But even by his own admission, he said, he's still learning how to box, and he learned some things from Fury in the ring there. I don't think Tyson Fury was 100% committed to this, but I think Fury. We're finally going to get the heavyweight fight that we've been wanting to see with Fury and Usyk. So I'm looking forward to that. But again, I'm not a guy that likes the cross sport thing, man. I'm a squared circle guy. I'm a boxing guy. I don't like to see guys cross over, into the octagon and vice versa. So let's stick to the real fights in the squared circle, in the ring. I want to see Tyson Fury defend his heavyweight championship against a real contender. And the same thing, I want to see more Canelo Alvarez. And let's keep boxing going. Boxing has had some great fights during 2023.
Our guy, TC Martin, the voice of the Las Vegas Aces, and of course, the host of the TC Martin Show, Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. here on the West Coast. Make sure you check him out, tcmartinshow.com. TC, my brother, I greatly appreciate you. I owe you those albondigas. They're coming soon, my guy.
Yes, thank you. Take care, Jose.
All right, brother. Have a great night. There you have it, our guy, TC Martin of the TC Martin Show. Make sure you check him out every single day, Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. on the tcmartinshow.com. And, of course, 1400 a.m. here locally, KSHP Las Vegas. But, look, I am your host, Jose V. I was your host for this evening, and I'm going to continue to be your host every single Wednesday night moving forward. Look, I may not be back in the studio. I'm just at the crib doing my thing, hanging out on the mic, in front of a camera, just talking sports with you guys, chopping it up, giving you guys normal everyday conversations like anyone else would. Not trying to give you anything scripted because that's not what I'm about. But look, big shout out to my guy Chris Wynn for chiming in all night on the show, as he does all the time when I'm doing the show. I greatly appreciate that. But look, if you guys want to be a part of the show, if you guys want to be a sponsor, just like my guy Eric Navarro, you see it down here on the bottom from Line 'em Up by Eric. Hit him up, 702-884-8138. Let him know Jose V from Straight Bet Sports sent you. He'll hook you up, give you a clean cut, fresh cut, have you looking good like me with the line up, the edge up. I'm ready for the weekend. I'm going to Cali. Going to have a good day out there, good weekend with the family. But look, big shout out to the outlet, SV.com. Everyone doing their thing over there. Our guy Plug, Tennessee Shark, Lion Slayer, Zay, our guy Takeoff. I mean, everyone that's a part of it. Ozzy does it. You guys already know what it is. But look, do me a favor. Drop that comment, press that share. Drop that like, and we'll go from there. Let everyone know what it is that you were tuned into tonight. We greatly appreciate you for giving us a few moments of your time on this beautiful evening. Once again, Jose V with Straight Bet Sports. If you want to check me out, at Jose_Volonte on Twitter and on all things social media, just look up Straight Bet Sports, Jose V. You definitely can find all of our previous content on YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, Anchor, Google, anywhere that's audio or video based. You can check it out there. But look, I'll end on this final note. Be grateful for what you have. Stop being ungrateful for what you don't have just because you want it. If you have everything that you need in life to live a day-to-day life and not struggle, that's all you should be grateful for. God, thank you for all my blessings and all the blessings around me with everyone else that lives with me or is not with me, but is still a part of my family. Like I say all the time, God, I'm second, everyone else first. Till then, till next time, we greatly appreciate you guys for joining in. Jose V with Straight Bet Sports. We'll talk to you guys next time. Next week, Wednesday, same time, same place. Our guy Mike Davis, general manager and head coach of the Vegas Nighthawks of the IFL, will join us live. Talk a little bit of football, and he got a new contract, man. Going to find out what it is he did to get that contract. Just messing with you guys. We'll talk to you guys next week. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. I'm out. Peace.